array implementation. In queue. How we can use array and implement the queue, we'll see. First of all, I need to declare an array of some size. Okay. So here I am taking an integer array. The name of my array is queue. So I am taking the elements, some 10 elements, suppose. Okay. Let me consider 5 elements. Okay. Now my array is this one. 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Here n is 5. Total number of elements are 5. Now what I have to do? Initially I need to declare few methods, that is enqueue. No return type. Like this you can leave it off. Void dequeue. And next is void display. Okay. Now inside the main method, I'm going to declare, I have to call this function, right? So I'll just write enqueue of something, dequeue, display method. If you want, you can take a switch case and you can implement case 1. Case 1 is enqueue, case 2 is dequeue, case 3 is display, and case 4 is exit. Like this you can implement. And outside this main method, now I will write the whole logic. Now let's see the logic for the enqueue. Initially, here the queue is empty. Okay, queue is empty. So what did I say? Whenever the queue is empty, you will be having one value, right? Front and rear values will be pointing to -1. You have to declare those values also here. Okay, here I will take int front equals to rear equals to -1. Okay, you have to declare this. Front equals to rear equals to -1 indicates that queue is empty. Okay, now let's check how we can write, how we can implement enqueue. So let me draw the array again. How many elements I have? I have 4 total 5 elements, right? So this is my array. And front here is front equals to rear equals to -1. Now I'm going to implement this one. Which method? Enqueue method. That is, I'm going to insert an element into queue. What I need to check? I told that whenever you're inserting, you need to check for which condition? Overflow condition. That is whether the queue is full. If the queue is full, I should not insert any element. So I'll check the condition. How can you check that particular condition? I told that you will be performing insertion at the rear end, right? That's why I will just say here rear equals to if it reaches the end of the array, that is n-1, then I can say that number of elements are 5. So I can, if the array reaches this part, that is 4th index, we can say that the queue is full. So here I will give a message to the user saying that printf queue is full. Okay. If queue is not full, what you have to do? First of all, if there are no elements in the array initially, okay, it is empty. So when I want to insert an element 10, what I need to do? I have to increment the rear value, right? Rear value should be incremented, should be pointing to this one. And front value should also be incremented. If you don't increment front value, it will say that queue is empty, but the queue is not empty, right? That's why whenever you're inserting one element into the queue, you have to increment the front value and rear value. That's what we'll write here. We'll check initially front is equals to -1. We will initialize 0 to front value. Then we will do rear plus plus. So once you increment, why you are incrementing the rear part? Because without incrementing the rear part, I can't initialize this value. I cannot insert the value without incrementing the rear part. So I am incrementing the rear part, and inside this rear part, I will insert the element whatever I want to read. So queue of rear equals to some element. So here I can ask the user to read whatever element I need. So scanf %d, enter the element. Okay. So here I can say, oh no, I should not give the message here. I can just give the read value. You can give a printf statement here before scanf. Enter the element %d ampersand element. Okay. Here you're reading the element, and one thing you have to remember, initially the queue is empty. So when the queue is empty, what you have to do, you have to increment the front part and the rear part also. Okay. These two variables needs to be updated to 0th index. That's why I'm saying if front equals to minus 1, I have to write this one. Front equals to 0, and I have to increment the rear part also, because without incrementing the rear part, I cannot insert the element, whatever I'm inserting here. Okay. Then I'll say rear plus q of rear equals to element. Then I'll close this else. Then I will close this particular function of enq. So let's see if I want to insert 20, how it will look. Now the front is my 0. Okay. Rear is also pointing to 0. Now front equals to minus 2. No, condition is false. Now rear equals to 0. Now what will happen? It will come to the else part. Rear is not equals to the last part, right? The size. So here what you're doing, you're checking if the front equals to minus 1. It's not equal to minus 1. So it will come to rear plus plus. So rear will be pointing to the next index. That is, rear will become 1. And in this index, you have to insert 20 value. So you will write q of 1 equals to 20. Like this, you can perform the insertion in Q. Okay. So now we'll see how we can implement DQ. Okay. So till now, suppose I have inserted these elements 40, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50. Suppose I have inserted these all elements in the queue. First, the DQ, which condition you need to check? You need to check the underflow condition, right? So if the queue is empty, there is no use of deleting the element, right? That's why you're checking for this condition. How can I check for that? I can check if rear equals to minus 1. Okay. So I can write this, or rear is greater than front. When the rear is greater than front, then you can get this particular, you can give this message to the user saying that printer queue is empty. Okay. So initially front is pointing to the 0th one index and rear is pointing to this. This queue is not empty, so you will go to the else part. So here what you will do, you have to, what did I say, in the queue the deletions are done at the front end, right? So here you will take this element, you will just store this element in some int ELE equals to q of front. So once you have deleted, the front should be pointing to the next location. That's why you will write front plus plus. Then I'll give the message to the user saying that deleted element is %d ELE. That's it. And rear will be the same thing. There is no change in the rear position. Only front will be incremented. This is what you have to remember. In this way, you can do the DQ operation. Okay. Now let's see how we can call display method. Using the display method function, I want to display all the elements present in the queue. Suppose my queue has these all elements 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 elements I have. Now I have to perform. So before displaying, you have to check whether the queue is empty. So how can I check the queue is empty? Rear equals to minus 1, or rear is greater than front. Okay. I can give a message to the user saying that printer queue is empty. Why you're checking for underflow condition here, that is queue is empty? Because you have to display elements. If there are no elements, there is no use of displaying them, right? That's why you're checking for the empty condition. If the queue is not empty, what you have to do, you have to take a for loop. So front is pointing here and rear will be pointed this one. So what I need to write here, I equals to front, I less than or equals to rear, I plus plus. What I have to do here? I just need to print all the elements. I was here. So I told for displaying all the elements, first of all, you need to check for the underflow condition. That is rear equals to -1 and rear is greater than front. Okay, then Q is empty, you'll be printing. For displaying all the elements, front is pointing to the first position and rear is pointing to the size -1 position. Okay. Now here what I'm doing, I'm taking a for loop with I variable that I equals to front, I less than or equals to rear, I plus plus. I can just printf percentile d Q of I. Okay, like this I'll get all the elements. So let's go to this for loop. So initially the Q is not empty, front is 0 here and rear is 4. Okay, now let's check the condition. 0 is less than or equals to 4, true. So it will get inside the printf statement and get inside the for loop. Printf statement will be executed. Now you will get Q of I. What is Q of I? Q of I is 10. Now again I will be incremented. 1 is less than 4, condition is true. Now again Q of 1 will be printed. Q of 1 is nothing but 20. Next, I will be incremented to 2 and Q of 2 will be printed. That is, Q of 2 is nothing but 30. Again, 2 will be incremented to 3. 3 is less than or equals to 4, condition is true. Now Q of 3 will be printed. Q of 3 is nothing but 40 here. Again, 3 will be incremented. So it will be 4 less than or equals to 4. The condition is true. Now Q of 4 will be printed. That is 50. So you will get the final output. This is the final output that you will be getting 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50.